Can you fit your legs on here? Jeez. Thanks.
Who's ready to roll? First question. Andrew, go. And then Nige at the back.
Sonny, you've faced some interesting challenges during your long career. Where does this sort of challenge fit in lifting again? This type of game?
Yes, definitely challenged some adversity in my time throughout my sporting career, but I think that has put me in good stead to be able to, face adversity this time. It was a pretty tough night, but also look at the positives and look at the learnings that I could get individually from that, and probably as a team that we could get from it. So, to be honest, straight after the game on Saturday, you don't. Well, for myself, I can only speak for myself, but I didn't really want to play this week. But within the space of 5-10 minutes, I had flipped the script, and was grateful to my creator for being able to be on that field with some really good guys, some legends of the game, and then also be right there in that space and think, well, how good would it be to go through this, come out, and then hopefully get a shot next week to put some of the learnings into practice. So that was within the space of 5 to 10 minutes.
Nige, where you go?
Sonny, is that really a reflection of what has always been that All Blacks philosophy, which is you're only allowed to sulk for a set period of time? Do you think that part of the reason why you were able to flip it over so quickly was a combination of that and also your faith to it?
Yeah, I guess so. We're all driven individuals, and we're all very, very disappointed. And for myself, I thought, I was disappointed, but I was more so disappointed that the amount of effort that not just the playing group, but some of the staff members had put into, and our families, and everyone rides that emotional wave. But then at the same time, the way I look at life is, a game doesn't define who I am by any means. So then I just took a step back, had a look over. I remember, I shared a few words with Sammy and just said, how special it's been to, throughout my career, being able to play with a guy like him. And then I just looked around and seen other players as well, and then I thought, well, how good is this? We still get another week in camp together, and get to go around again next week, hopefully.
Have you had to help with some of those guys out Saturday night?
Oh, I think everyone walks on their own path, and everyone, I guess, copes with it in different ways. But after today's session, I kind of feel like we're all kind of on that same path, on that same boat, riding that same wave, and we're just looking forward to getting out there this weekend.
Sam, what have those words from Sonny mean to you when he's turned across and visit?
Oh, Sonny's like the dad of the team now, eh? So.
Even though I look younger than some of the boys still, So.
No, it's nice saying in a moment like that for a guy to be able to mentally be in that state and say those sort of things. It's all very heartfelt, and you're running high on emotions, albeit not the emotions that you wanted to be running on, but you still remember them, and you know he means them, so it's nice.
John, where you go?
Sam, how have you been dealing with it? Is it a bit of a roller coaster? Sometimes you feel all right, sometimes you're really gutted, or just how you're dealing with the whole thing?
Yeah, it's probably fair way to describe how it's been. The roller coaster, but slowly getting the extremes, slowly getting a little bit less over time. To be honest, I've been doing my best not to think about it. Mum and Dad got in here Thursday, and I've got a few other families and my partner's here, so I spent a few hours with them yesterday, and they didn't bring up the game once, and we just hung out and had some laughs, which was nice. And then, we had a good team meeting last night. We sort of just aired a few things and we're all in it together. And then today it's about looking forward and learning and trying to be better.
Mike, where you go?
Sam, was just in here, and he mentioned the review process this morning went for a bit longer than usual. You've spoken about the meeting yesterday. From a player's perspective, what were those meetings like to go through?
They were good. They were actually in the end quite uplifting. I think pretty much all of yesterday, as Sonny said, everyone's dealing with it slightly different or in their own ways, so you're a little bit dispersed. I've been trying to hang out with people, helps me. A few laughs with the boys as best you can, but then when we come in together as a group, you know, chat, share things, thoughts, how we're feeling, and then walk out of the room, actually feel a lot better having just got together and acknowledged what's happened and where we're at and the path forward.
Ian, on the left.
Can I ask you two guys, will be Steve's last match. Could you just give a few reflections and thoughts on his career and having worked with him?
Sammy's worked with him more than me, so go on, bro.
Both of us.
You
Okay,
first.
I'll start. Hey, yeah, I like to Steve. He, the guy who selected me for the All Blacks the first time, and he's been my only All Blacks coach. I think he's a pretty special coach. He's got a real good feel for the group. So he's a little bit more than a coach. He allows the other coaches to execute their roles. Like I said, he's just a very intuitive coach who's not always on the money, but generally he's not far off it. And yeah, so I consider myself pretty lucky to have been coached by him for eight years now. And he won't want to talk about it being his last game. He's pretty driven on us finishing on a good note.
Yeah, for my... Oh, yeah. Oh, no, go next. No, next question. It's all good. He pretty much answered. Go on, bro. Go, brother. Go, please. Next question.
Okay, well, the question just how does this group compare, Sonny, to the other All Black teams you've been in and out of the team for quite a number of years now, and then also in your other sporting pursuits as well, when it comes to coping with this loss? Like, what's this group like compared to the others when it comes to the others?
We'll have to find out, won't we? But, you know, early signs are really positive. And like I said before, I think a lot of us understand that a game doesn't define who we are. But, you know, like Steve said yesterday, we got to put on our big boy pants and face the music, and that's what we're doing. You know, that's all we know how to do. And we've got a lot of young guys in the squad, and then there's more experienced guys that are hurting. But it's for myself, I always think of things as like how can I learn from it, and I'm sure that's what we're going to try and do. So, you know, time will tell that question. But early stages, we've gone through the review process this morning. You know, some of the boys had some bulletproof vests on, but we stepped up and we owned it, and now we're just going to get into our mahi and, you know, get out there again this weekend and do what we do.
Good down, over here, on the right.
Last few years, many years, people in the world maybe will look at you guys and maybe you're not human. And now you're showing very human emotions and great. It's not a good situation, but it's great for people to see that you are human and have these emotions. But both of you went through a lot of injuries, so it would be easier to come back from this than injuries like breaking a neck and all these things.
Well, it's just different. It's different, but like I think sport in general is just brilliant for teaching resilience, and yeah, that's all we've got to show now. A bit of resilience and just to, you know, things don't always go the way you want them to, and sport teaches you that, and that's the way life is too. So, as Sonny said, you put your big boy pants on, pick your bottom lip up, and get going again, because nothing good is gained from sulking or not moving. So just make some movements forward and get going again.
We'll go Clay, Nigel, and then Mark. Finish with you, John, shall we?
Cool.
Okay.
Same, Sam touched on, always been with their families. I think she's got your real family here now. In a week like this, because of your career, what's it mean for you? What's it like this year?
Well, to be honest, it was probably a little bit more stressful with my little one yesterday. She was out of whack. I hadn't slept too much, so as you parents with young kids can attest to, it's not the best. But it's just, for me, I've been through a lot of my career, but also with young kids, and that I always seem to, I kind of felt, I almost felt bad because I could walk around with a smile and genuinely feel it, for me with my faith, and I always just try and look at things with that gratitude mindset, and having to pray 5 times a day, you always seem to be in that state of mind. So kids are just another blessing on top of that, So being here, speaking to you guys is another blessing sometimes. But,
It's not what you said in the lift.
exactly.
No.
Yeah, relax. But yeah, just trying to have that mindset. And I feel like when I have that mindset, I kind of will hopefully rub off on the people I'm around in a positive way. So, but it hasn't always been like that, So I've had to learn as I've gotten older.
Nigel, play go.
Sam, obviously Warren's coming back to coach the Chiefs. Did you have any conversations in your role with the Chiefs with getting when he got appointed, and just another one, basically, what have you made of the Welsh team as well? Probably,
2 for 1, Nigel.
So I haven't had any conversations with Getty, and that was even back during Super Rugby when I found out early that he was going to be coaching us next year. And then obviously since then I knew that we'd both be pretty focused on our own international teams. It'd be nice, maybe we'll touch base in a month or so once the dust is settled, but I think obviously last week, the quarterfinal, I think they admitted, and we probably thought they were a bit lucky to creep through, but yesterday, a very gritty, gutsy performance from them, left them just short. So we're probably a day ahead of them in like our emotional state, I suppose, about the disappointment of that game. So I know they'll be in the same sort of boat. They'll be picking themselves up and then getting up for a clash, because everyone wants to finish their season on a good note, and there's still plenty to play for, and plenty of reasons to want to perform well, plenty of motivation. So looking forward to the game, to be honest.
Was that Gats that was it Bryn that you're texting in the lift? Saying, see you soon.
No, I didn't have
Oh,
that's average. That's
I had too long.
trying to get me
Put it
back.
on there.
Trying to get me back.
We'll go Mark and then finish with you, John.
Sam, obviously you've just been through the review. I was just wondering about the sort of the mindset collectively of the forwards. I mean, not often you guys get beaten in physical context. What did you take out of the weekend? How do you use that kind of going forward as a group?
Yeah, you're right. We looked at a couple because we first and foremost pride us as a full pack on your set piece and doing a good job there. Thought the scrum, we still had a pretty good day at the scrum time, but a couple of back-to-back line-out errors didn't help. But then it was more of the physicality stuff came around to not quite getting set on D fast enough and not coming forward as hard as we'd like to. So they got a bit of momentum and ended up getting over the game line more than we would have liked. And to be fair, we peaked it back a little bit. We just started it was probably the first half where we didn't really execute that the way that we know we can. So they're easy fixes, but it would have been nice to be able to fix them at the time. We can't do that. We can't change anything. So all we can do is do our best to learn from it. And
John, you finish off.
Sonny, just the head coaching roles up for grabs after this tournament. Ian Foster's keen to put his hand up. You've worked with him for quite a while. Just what are the qualities that would make him a good head coach of the All Blacks, do you think?
I think when it comes to that, there's going to be a few guys putting their hands up, isn't there?
Yep.
by a few reports, I might have to put my hand up too, because I'm stepping into coaching. So, you know, good luck to everyone that puts their hand up and tries to step into that role. You know, for myself, you know, there's a lot of coaches that will be leaving at the end of this year, and you know, one thing that I would probably put to the NZRU would be good to see, you know, I guess Pacific Islander or a Māori in the coaching system that would have a bit of influence to, you know, because, you know, the way that the game's going and it is today, there's a lot of island boys, a lot of Māori boys that play for the All Blacks, and I'm just thinking, how can we get a lot more out of those boys? And I know that there's a bit of space there for that growth. So.
Can you tell us
Cool.
what
I'll
you're
finish.
doing?
Sorry, Sam. We'll wrap it up there.
Can
Yeah.
you tell us what you're doing this year?
Yeah, soon, bro, soon. I'm just trying to finalise that, so we'll work.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you. See you out tomorrow.